Hello, Big Daddy Bigz here, product review dude, and this is Through the Bible in a Year with Big Daddy Bigz. I'm glad you could join me, and what we do is every day we read a portion of the Bible. We take 4 chapters every day as our progression through the Bible throughout the year goes. This is every day. I'm here reading the scriptures. This is the Read to Me section of the website. Over there on the right hand side, the categories, and of course across the top there you have the menu selection of Through the Bible in a Year with Big Daddy Bigz. Today's verses are Genesis, January 12th. It's Genesis 45 through 48. And I just want to mention, and I always mention this, give us a thumbs up if you like, if this has been a blessing to you. This is the Tree of Life version of the Bible. It's kind of a relatively new version of the Messianic type scriptures, and I've really enjoyed. It just kind of gives you a different perspective of the scriptures, and I've really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you do like this, if you do get a blessing from this, please share our videos with your friends, or my videos with your friends. Might be a blessing to them too. So let's carry on. Genesis chapter 45. Joseph reveals himself. Now Joseph could no longer restrain himself in front of all those who were standing by him, so he cried out, "Get everyone away from me." So no one stood with him when Joseph made himself known to his brothers. But he gave his voice to weeping so that the Egyptians heard, and Pharaoh's household heard. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" And his brothers were unable to answer him because they were terrified at his presence. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "Please come near me." So they came near. "I'm Joseph, your brother, the one you sold to Egypt," he said. "So now don't be grieved and don't be angry in your own eyes that you sold me here, since it was for preserving life that God sent me here before you. For there has been 2 years of famine in the land, and there will be 5 more years yet with no plowing or harvesting. But God sent me ahead of you to ensure a remnant in the land and to keep you alive for a great escape. So now it wasn't you didn't send me here, but God. And he made me as a father to Pharaoh, lord over his whole house, and ruler over the entire land of Egypt. Go up quickly to my father and say to him, 'Thus says your son Joseph, God has made me lord over all Egypt. Come down to me, don't delay. Then you'll live in the land of Goshen and be close to me, you and your children and your children's children, your flocks and your cattle and everything that belongs to you. I'll provide food for you there, for the famine will last another 5 years. Otherwise, you'll lose everything, you and your household and everything that belongs to you. And look, you and my brother Benjamin can see with your own eyes that it's my mouth that's speaking to you. You must tell my father about all my honor in Egypt and about all that you've seen, and you must quickly bring my father down here." Then he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept while Benjamin wept upon his neck. And he kissed all his brothers and wept upon them. Finally, after this, his brothers talked with him. When the commotion was heard in Pharaoh's house, Joseph's brothers have come. It was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and his servants. So Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Say to your brothers, do this, load your animals and go to the land of Canaan. Then get your father, your households, and come to me. I'll give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you will eat the fat of the land. You are also commanded to say, do this, take for yourselves wagons from the land of Egypt, for your little children and for your wives, and pick up your father and come. Do not be concerned about your goods, because the best of all the land of Egypt is yours." So the sons of Israel did so. Joseph gave them carts by Pharaoh's command, and he gave them provisions for the journey. To each of them he gave a change of clothes, while Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 sets of clothes. Also to his father he sent the following: 10 donkeys carrying from the best of Egypt, the 10 female donkeys carrying grain and food and provisions for his father's journey. Then he sent his brothers off, and they departed, and said to them, "Don't be anxious on the way." Then they went up from Egypt and came to the land of Canaan to Jacob their father. They told him, saying, "Joseph is still alive, and he is ruler over the whole land of Egypt." His heart went numb, for he did not believe them. But they told him all of Joseph's words that he had told them. When he saw the wagons that Joseph had sent to pick him up, the spirit of their father Jacob revived. Then Israel said, "Enough, my son Joseph is still alive. I must go and see him before I die." Genesis 46. Jacob goes to Egypt. So Israel set out along with everything that belonged to him. When he came to Beersheba, he offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. In visions of the night, God said to Israel, "Jacob, Jacob." "Hineni," he said. "I am God, the God of your father." He said, "Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for I will turn you into a great nation there. I myself will go down with you to Egypt, and I myself will also most certainly bring you up. Joseph will put his hands on your eyes." Then Jacob arose from Beersheba, and Israel's sons carried Jacob their father with their little children and their wives in the carts that Pharaoh had sent to carry him. They also took their livestock and their possessions they had acquired in the land of Canaan, and they came to Egypt, Jacob and all his offspring with him, his sons and his grandsons with him, his daughters and his granddaughters, and all his offspring. He brought with him to Egypt. Now these are the names of the sons of Israel who came to Egypt: Jacob and his sons, Jacob's firstborn Reuben, and Reuben's sons Hanok, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. Simeon's sons Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zochar, and Shaul, the son of the Canaanite woman. Levi's sons Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Judah's sons Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. Died along with Onan in the land of Canaan. Perez's sons were Hezron and Hamul. Issachar's sons Tola, Puvah, Lob, and Shimron. Zebulun's sons Sered, Elon, and Jaleel. These are Leah's sons, whom she bore to Jacob in Padan Aram, along with his daughter Dinah. The tally of all his sons and daughters was 33 people. Gad's sons, Zephion, Haggai, Shuni, Esbon, Eri, Rodi, and Areli. Asher's sons, Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, Beriah, and Sarah, their sister. Beriah's sons, Heber and Malchiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter. She bore these to Jacob, 16 people. The sons of Jacob's wife Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. Manasseh and Ephraim were born to Joseph in the land of Egypt. Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bore them to him. Benjamin's sons, Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ahi, Rosh, Mupim, Hupim, and Ard. These are the sons of Dan, Hushim. Naphtali's sons, Yakzil, Guni, Yezer, and Shalem. These are the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban gave to Rachel, his daughter, and she bore these to Jacob. The tally of all the people was 7. All the people belonging to Jacob who came to Egypt, those coming from his loins, not counting the wives of Jacob's first sons, or of Jacob's sons, the tally of all the people was 66. The sons of Joseph were born to him in Egypt, was a tally of 2 people. The tally of all the people belonging to Jacob's house who came to Egypt was 70. Now he sent Judah before him to Joseph to show him the way to Goshen. When they came to the land of Goshen, Joseph harnessed his chariot and went up to Goshen to meet his father Israel. As soon as he appeared before him, he fell upon his neck and wept on his neck for some time. Then Israel said to Joseph, "At this time I am ready to die, after seeing your face in person, for you're still alive." Then Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, "I'll go up and tell Pharaoh and say to him, my brothers and my father's household, who were in the land of Canaan, have come to me. The men are shepherds, for they've been men who handled livestock, who have brought their flocks and cattle and everything that they possess. So when Pharaoh calls you and says, 'What is your occupation?' you must say, 'Your servants have been men who handle livestock since the time of our youth until now, both we and our fathers, so that you can live in the land of Goshen, because every shepherd is loathsome to the Egyptians." Chapter 47. Jacob blesses Pharaoh. Then Joseph came and informed Pharaoh, "My father and my brothers and their flocks and their cattle and everything that belongs to them have come from the land of Canaan, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen." For from among his brothers he took 5 men and presented them before Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to his brothers, "What is your occupation?" So they said to Pharaoh, "Your servants are shepherds, both we and our fathers." Then they said to Pharaoh, "We came to dwell temporarily in the land, since there is no pasture for the flocks that belong to your servants, for the famine is severe in the land of Canaan. So now please let your servants live in the land of Goshen." Pharaoh said to Joseph, saying, "Your father and your brothers came to you. The land of Egypt is before you. Settle your father and your brothers in the best part of the land. Let them live in the land of Goshen. If you know of any capable men among them, make them overseers of the livestock, over those that are mine." Then Joseph brought his father Jacob and presented him before Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Pharaoh asked Jacob, "How many days are the years of your life?" Jacob said to Pharaoh, "The days of the years of my sojourn are 130 years. Few and evil have been the days of the years of my life. Moreover, the days of the years of my life have not attained the days of the years of the lives of my fathers in the days of their sojourn." And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from Pharaoh's presence. Joseph settled his father and his brothers and gave them property in the land of Egypt, in the best part of the land, in the land of Ramesses, just as Pharaoh commanded. And Joseph supported his father and his brothers and his father's entire household with food for the mouths of the little ones. Joseph's leadership in the famine. Now there was no food in all the land, because the famine was very severe. Both the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan languished because of the famine. Joseph collected all the money that could be found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the grain that they bought, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. Then the money of the land of Egypt and of the land of Canaan ran out, and all of Egypt came to Joseph, saying, "Give us food. Why should we die in front of you, for because the money is gone?" Joseph said, "Give your livestock, and I'll give it to you for your livestock, if the money is gone." So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and Joseph gave them food in exchange for horses, for flocks of sheep, for herds of cattle, and for donkeys. He provided them with food in exchange for all the livestock that year. When that year came to an end, they came to him in the second year and said to him, "We won't hide from my lord that the money has run out, and the livestock and the domestic animals are my lord's. There is nothing left in my lord's sight except our bodies and our land. Why should we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for food. We and our land will become Pharaoh's slaves. Provide seed so that we may live and not die, and the land won't be deserted." So Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, because the Egyptians, each one, sold his field, for the famine overcame them. Thus the land became Pharaoh's. He made the people slaves from one end of Egypt's border to the other. Only he did not buy the land belonging to the priests, because the priests had an allotment from Pharaoh, and they ate their allotment that Pharaoh gave them. Therefore they did not sell their land. Then Joseph said to the people, Behold, I have bought you and your land today for Pharaoh. Here is seed for you, so that you can sow the land. During the harvest you must give a fifth part to Pharaoh, and 4/5 will be for you, for seed, for the field, and for your food, and for those in your houses, and for food for your little ones. You've saved our lives. They said, we find favor in the eyes of my Lord, and will be Pharaoh's slaves. So Joseph set it as a statute until this very day concerning the land of Egypt. A fifth part goes to Pharaoh. Only the priests' land did not become Pharaoh's. Meanwhile, Israel settled in the land of Egypt, in the land of Goshen, acquired property in it, and were fruitful and multiplied greatly. Joseph's promise to Jacob. Now Jacob lived in the land of Egypt for 17 years. So the days of Jacob, the years of his life, were 147 years. As the time of Israel's death drew near, he called for his son Joseph and said to him, If I have found favor in your eyes, please put your hand under my thigh, show me faithful kindness. Please do not bury me in Egypt. When I lie down with my fathers, you must carry me out of Egypt and bury me in their burial place. So he said, I myself will do according to your word. Swear to me, he said. So he swore to him. Then Israel bowed down in worship on the head of his staff. Chapter 48. Blessing of Ephraim and Manasseh. After these things, someone told Joseph, Behold, your father is sick. So he took his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, with him. When someone told Jacob, saying, Behold, your son Joseph has come to you, Israel summoned his strength and sat up in bed. Then Jacob said to Joseph, El Shaddai appeared to me in Luz, in the land of Canaan, and blessed me. He said to me, I am going to make you fruitful and multiply you, and turn you into an assembly of peoples. And I will give this land to your seed after you as an everlasting possession. So now 2 sons who were born to you in the land of Egypt before I came to you in Egypt, they are mine. Ephraim and Manasseh will be mine, just like Reuben and Simeon. Any descendant of yours whom you father after them will be yours. They will be identified by the names of their brothers for their inheritance. Now, as for me, when I came from Paddan, to my sorrow Rachel died along the way in the land of Canaan, while we were still a distance from entering Ephrath. And I buried her there on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Then Israel saw Joseph's sons and said, Who are these? Joseph said to his father, They are my sons, whom God has given me here. Then he said, Please bring them to me, so I may bless them. Now Israel's eyes had grown heavy with old age. He could not see. So he brought them near to him, and he kissed them and hugged them. Then Israel said to Joseph, To see your face I didn't expect. And look, God has let me see your offspring as well." Then Joseph took them from his knees and bowed with his face down to the ground. Then Joseph took the two of them, Ephraim with his right hand across from Israel's left, and Manasseh with his left hand across from Israel's right, and brought them close to him. But Israel stretched out his right hand and placed it on Ephraim's head, though he was younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, crossing his hands, though Manasseh was the firstborn. Then he blessed Joseph and said, "The God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has shepherded me throughout my life to this day, the angel who redeemed me from all evil, may he bless the boys, and may they be called by my name and by the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac. May they multiply to a multitude in the midst of the land." Then, when Joseph saw that his father placed his right hand upon Ephraim's head, it was wrong in his eyes. So he took hold of his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. Joseph said to his father, "Not like that, my father, because this one's the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head." But his father refused and said, "I know, my son, I know. He also will become a people, and he also will become great. But his younger brother will become greater than he, and his seed will be the fullness of the nations." Then he blessed them that day, saying, "In you shall Israel bless by saying, May God make you like Ephraim and like Manasseh." Thus he put Ephraim before Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, "Look, I'm about to die, but God will be with you and will bring you back to the land of your fathers. Now I myself give you one portion more than your brothers, that which I took from the hand of the Amorites with my sword and my bow." Thanks for being with us. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was a blessing to you. And y'all have a good day. See you next time.